You all seem to enjoy our content on CEI, so we're back again with another one. Down by 1.6 today, we can see CEI is falling, currently sat on 123. But the question is, what comes next for CEI? We're of course going to be doing that technical analysis that we do on a daily basis and looking at the updated data and sharing my updated opinions. If you do want to see regular updated data, analysis and opinions, do subscribe to this channel because we do technical analysis on a lot of stocks every single day. It's definitely the place for you if you want to see that sort of stuff. Do subscribe because it does help. Now, before we do fully answer the video, two more things that I want to share with you. The first of which is going to be quite obvious, but I must remind you, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Do your own research and come up with your own opinions, as this is nothing more than my personal opinion. It may be wrong, you may disagree with it, it's just what I personally think. And the second thing that I want to mention is the fact that we are currently doing a fundraiser for Save the Children. Now, this fundraiser is set to end on the 24th of December, so literally Christmas Eve, and we're trying to raise as much money as we can going forwards into the festive period and hopefully do some good at the festive time where people need it the most. But now that I've said that, we're going to jump into the video and we're going to have a look at the one-day data before we dive any deeper. And where we're going to do this is the very simple and easy to understand chart so that everybody knows what's going on. On the one day, you'll see one thing is clear. We're moving down from the open, so you'll see we opened up on a price of 125, you'll see up here, and of course we did have that massive drop down on open, which took us to 123. Not too big of a deal, but yes, it did take us into the red immediately, and from there we went a little bit lower to 122. Then we had a big spike up at 141, which took us to a price point of 126.92, but that didn't really last for too long. We had a bit of consolidation at that level, and we did actually have another spike up for a few moments afterwards. But really, a drop did happen, and we went all the way down to our lows of the day so far, which was down at the 120 mark exactly. Now, a bit of a climb up from there, which took us to the 124 mark, and right now we're dipping again, coming down to 122. Now, it is important to remember that there is still an hour to go and anything could happen, but as of current, this is just what we are seeing, and in the past 5 days, you'll see it is still a mixed story, but this stock is dropping in that time period. We're coming up from our opening price, or at least our high price of 130 on last Friday, and coming forwards into where we are going into this Friday, we're sat on 123 so far. Now, the past month data, you will see we have been bleeding out slowly but surely over time for a very, very long while. We started off the month on a price of $3 plus, and you'll see from there we've just been falling and falling and falling, as I did actually personally predict. But yeah, from right now, the question is, where do we go? Because I do think it is the case that CEI could have found the bottom for it right now, because you will remember that even prior to this, CEI was worth about 34 cents, so it was a bit lower than where we are right now. But it is also true to note that a lot more people do know about the stock, a lot more people do own the stock, and I do believe a lot more people continue to buy the stock. So I think for that reason, the price, or the new floor for the price, is inevitably going to be a bit higher than where it previously was, but once again, it is about finding that floor. So we've seen lows for CEI in the 90-cent range before. Again, it is definitely possible that could be the low that we have seen so far, and we're not really going to drop too much lower from there. But that's only one side of the story. We don't necessarily want to talk about lows all the time. We want to talk about where we could be going from now. And I want to give a few of my opinions on that, but first I want to give you guys that technical analysis, and we're going to do this on the 1 day, 5 day, and 1 month data. On the 1 day data, you can see that we're sat on a moving average of 123. It's a little bit higher than where we are right now, but it's also not too big of a deal because we are seeing that drop most recently, and it has had a bit of difficulty catching up. You'll see our trend for the MACD is dropping below the line. It does look to be coming back up right now, but it is still looking bearish, and that is just on the 1 day. You'll see that actually our figure on the RSI is fairly neutral as well. That's on 46, so only 4 points from neutral. Not too bad at all, almost even where we would like to be right now, so very, very nice to see. And you'll see that our trend on the 5 day isn't looking too bad either. We're kind of flat on the 5 day, and we have had that consolidation, or at least a rise from the lows, so we're sat on a moving average just a little bit lower than where we are. Not too big of a deal either, because it's not out by too much, which is good to see. Our trend for the MACD right now is looking quite neutral. It was bullish earlier on, but it is dropping as time goes on because we had that spike and now we're coming back down from it. You'll see our trend for the RSI is on 51, which literally is almost neutral, so it is really, really perfect. So perfect things when it comes to the RSI on the 5-day. Let's have a look at our all-inclusive data on the 1 month. So we have a few indicators here to look at, and we're going to start off by looking at the volume figures that we are seeing for the stock most recently. And what I want to do first is just highlight the volume in the past 3 months, because I think this really is helpful to look at what we are seeing for CEI. So volume figures started to increase when we had this bit of a spike up, and you'll see how high our volume actually was. So we have our numbers listed here going up to 750. I know it is a bit cramped, so I'm sorry about that, but you can see how high our volume went. Now zoom into where we are right now. The volume candles are not even visible. Come back to 1 month and you'll see what I'm talking about a bit more clearly. Volume is reduced significantly. Our volume figure for today is sat on 31.14 million. It really is quite low, and if we do want to see another rise for CEI, we do want to see volume step back into stock, and of course, you know, that would help us to move up. Now, one thing that I have always said with CEI, from the highs, what I did worry about is this one going to be a stock, yes, that has the potential to boom, or is this going to be a stock that people kind of forget about? It starts to see a drop and then it bleeds out slowly. Now, so far, CEI has kind of bled out quite slowly. There is now some potential, possibly, that this could be the lows and we could be seeing a move upwards, but ultimately it depends on how big that move up is and, you know, whether it actually means anything based on that. Because, you know, we have seen green candles both here, here, and here, but they were so small, it didn't really mean too much at all. So I think with CEI, we are looking for some big moves, and it is still very, very unclear as to whether that is going to happen as of yet. Anyway, we're looking at an RSI figure of 43. That is fairly okay. Again, 50 is neutral. It's 7 points off. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is a little bit low. But it's not too bad, like I said, so I'm not too worried about that either. Now, the trend for the MACD is actually bearish. You'll see the line in the middle here is neutral. We're crossing below that line as time goes on. So as this trend does actually drop and drop and drop, we're coming onto the bearish side of things, and we are actually remaining quite stable on the bearish side. Not too bearish, you cannot see the candles at all, whereas when you come back here, these red candles are very, very apparent. But yes, we are below the line right now. The lines have crossed over, and we are into bearish territory. So like I always say, the question now is, where do we go with CEI? And it is an unclear picture. I think we are definitely very close to the bottom, but on the other hand, that does not really mean anything if we do not have the potential to rise up much more. And it is going to be very, very unclear if we do have that potential to rise any more. Now, arguably, you could buy CEI right now as a bit of a gamble, but it would be purely speculative, and it would be, you know, very questionable as to whether this one is going to see a boost up again, and if it is, how big will that boost be? So I would always urge with caution with CEI or with any of the stocks that we have been looking at very recently, because they all do carry quite a lot of risk, and that's just my personal opinion, so be very careful. Personally, I would not buy CEI right now. I think that yes, we could be very close to the bottom, like you said, but the potential of us going up and how much we would go higher, is it justifiable for that? And again, it's something that you need to ask yourself. So thank you for watching this one. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Goodbye. Thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.